Hello, Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So, Taurus, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energies. With all that being said, Taurus, let's get started. How does Taurus currently view this relationship? All right, Taurus, let's see what's going on. Okay, so we do have the Tower out here. We do have the 10 of Swords, but then we have the Knight of Cups, which is something that I really want to look into. Yeah. We're going to look into that Knight of Cups energy. But with the Tower to a 10 of Swords coming out here, it kind of looks like something came to an end in your life. Whatever this thing is that came to an end in your life, it was something that was very toxic and unhealthy. Yeah, very toxic and unhealthy. So you could have had a very toxic and unhealthy marriage and a relationship with someone. But you know what's interesting is that I do see you feeling drawn to someone. Whoever this person is that you're feeling, you know, drawn to, God, how do I explain this? This to me just kind of feels like this to me kind of feels like one door is essentially closing and another one is opening up. But this other door that's opening up, you know, for you in the love department, it wasn't anything that you were anticipating or expecting. Is kind of what it's kind of what I'm getting. Let's look at the Knight of Cups. Tell me more about the Knight of Cups. All right, we got the 6 of Cups, we got the Page of Cups, yeah. And then we have the Lovers out here. You know, I feel like after this ending occurred here between you and this person that you had a very toxic and unhealthy relationship with, I feel like your whole, like, game plan, I guess, was to just take this time to just kind of focus on you, right? Your growth, your expansion, the things that you personally want to essentially improve about yourself or either your life, right? And it just kind of looks like, I don't know, it just kind of looks like the universe has other plans for you. Taurus is like the best way that I could put it, because I do see you feeling drawn to someone, and I do see somebody feeling very, very drawn to you. By the way, this connection between you and this person, and it goes both ways, so just keep that in mind, but this connection is going to make the both of you feel like you guys have known each other your whole entire lives, even though technically speaking, you guys haven't. So you're going to find yourself feeling really comfortable with them. They're going to find themselves feeling really comfortable with you. I am definitely getting that. This to me feels like a very fast growing connection, by the way. So things are going to move pretty quickly here, I will say, between you and this person. It's a fast growing connection is basically what we're seeing here. But I just don't feel like this was like a part of your plan. You know what I mean, honey? Like, I just kind of like after this ending occurred here, you just wanted to focus on you, and then boom, you know, this person shows up. So yeah, it just kind of looks like the universe has other plans for you. But let's look at this human, shall we? How does this person currently view this relationship? I feel like things are going to move quickly here between you and this person. I mean, it has a lot to do with, it does have a lot to do with the fact that you're dealing with somebody that you're very compatible with. So I feel like that's going to like contribute, you know, to like the relationship between the two of you growing at a very rapid pace, because you guys are very compatible to one another. But I feel like another reason why things are going to move so quickly here between you and this person is because of the person you're dealing with. I mean, with the Chariot coming out here, I mean, the person that sits in the Chariot is the Emperor. So an Emperor is that type of person that when they see something that they want, they're very, very determined to get it, right? And in this case, I mean, they're kind of locked in on you, all right? And what it is that they want with you. An Emperor is somebody who just kind of knows, I will say, like right away, whether or not the person that's sitting across the table from them is the one for them or not. So I just kind of feel like when it comes down to you, they just know like you're what they want. And once this person realizes you're what they want, they're not going to want to sit around and waste any fucking time. They're going to want to get this ball rolling here between the two of you, because they're convinced that you are what they basically want. So with that being said, not only are they convinced that you are what they want, they just know, like on a soul level and on an intuitive level, that you're just the one for them. It's basically what I'm getting. So no, this person's not going to waste any time when it comes down to like them making you theirs is what I'm getting. All right, let's keep going. So I don't feel like you're the one that's rushing things, and this is just acting as a double confirmation. I don't feel like you're the one that's rushing things. It's them that's rushing things with you. Let's see how this plays out. How does Taurus feel? I will say say this, even though this wasn't technically speaking a part of your plan, as far as like building with a whole other individual like right away, it kind of looks like that's exactly what's happening here. And we do see you being open and receptive to it, especially with the death card coming out here. You're being open and receptive for sure when it comes down to this person, your relationship with them. But with the Knight of Wands coming out here, that's that fast moving energy, right, that we already picked up from this person in particular. So you're not moving quickly with them, it's them that's moving quickly, you know, with you. If this was like Burger King, have it your way, I'm sure you would have preferred for things to move at a very slow and steady pace here between you and this person. But even though things are not moving at a very slow and steady pace here between you and this person, I just kind of see you going along with it. You know what I mean? For some of you, you might find yourself feeling a tad bit overwhelmed by this person, your relationship with them. And it has a lot to do with the fact that you're an earth sign. Earth signs typically like to take things very slowly within a romantic relationship. They're not in a rush to like, you know, run off into the sunset with anybody. They're not in a rush to like jump into a relationship. They're not in a rush to get married. They're not in a rush to start a family. Like they like to really take their time to really get to know a person first before they turn around and make a major life decision, right? But when it comes down to this person, I just kind of feel like you're gonna find yourself doing a lot of things that are out of your character, Taurus. So like, you know, for example, you're that type of person that likes to take your time to really get to know a person before you jump into a relationship with them. Well, with this one over here, I don't see you doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I see you jumping into a relationship with this person very, very quickly. And it's, again, it has a lot to do with them, so just keep that in mind. But it also has a lot to do with the way that this relationship makes you feel. You know, it makes you feel good on the inside. It makes you feel like this is your person. It makes you feel like this is your life partner. So I do feel like that in itself is going to be the primary reason why you turn around and jump into a relationship with this person as quickly as I do see you jumping into a relationship, you know, with them. You know what I mean? I am definitely getting that. So you're going to be doing a lot of things that are out of your character. I just see you going along with it. You know what I mean? Like this person might turn around and tell you, you know what, Taurus, I just think you're the one for me. And I just think we should go run off into the sunset with one another. Like I do kind of see you harnessing the energy of like, okay, I guess we can like run off into the sunset together. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you're a little bit nervous. I do. I feel like you're a little bit nervous. And a little bit scared. I am definitely getting that because again, it's like you typically don't do this, right? You typically don't turn around and just jump into a relationship right away with a person. You know, so I do see like, okay, I guess we could run off into the sunset together if you really want to. You know what I mean? Oh, how does this person currently feel? Oh, well, I mean, this person's coming out with some really, really good cards. I mean, I will give them that. With Temperance coming out here, that's telling me that this person, when it comes down to their intentions towards you, it's coming from a very pure and sincere place, okay? We do have the King of Cups out here, and at the bottom of the deck, we do have the King of Pentacles. This is personally, you know, one of my favorite combos for sure to describe an individual at least, right? King of Cups is somebody who's emotionally mature. King of Cups is somebody who's also emotionally invested. So that's kind of telling me that this one over here is falling for you, but they're falling for you at the freaking speed of light, okay? King of Pentacles is somebody, it's somebody who's reliable. It's somebody who's responsible. It's somebody who's very, very hardworking. It's also somebody who's very, very big on commitment as well as loyalty. So, I mean, you found a really, really good thing. That's one thing that I will say, my friend. And like I said, dude, very dead set on you. Before the Two of Wands comes the Ace of Wands, which speaks of our own personal wants and desires. I mean, this one over here is convinced that you're the one that they've been looking for. You're the one that they've been praying for. And they finally, you know, got what it is that they wanted, right? Which was a woman like you or a man like you. I'm saying both because I don't know your gender. However, I do want to look at the Nine of Swords. So let's look into that, shall we? Tell me more about the Nine of Swords. Okay. Tell you more about the Nine of Swords. Doom, 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 doom. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna have to do it, but hold on. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to blow this person's spot up real quick. I'm gonna have to do it. So let's do it. Okay. So I do want to go over a few things when it comes down to this person that you currently find yourself connecting with. Try not to be alarmed by it, okay? The Nine of Swords basically represents an energy of somebody who's very worried and concerned. And let me explain why this person's kind of worried and concerned when it comes down to you and their relationship with you. It has a lot to do with karma, okay? So let's get into that, shall we? With the King of Swords to the Seven of Swords to the Five of Swords, this is basically referring to a relationship that they were in prior to obviously meeting you. So just keep that in mind, okay? Kind of looks like they weren't the best person in this previous marriage and a relationship that they were a part of. I'm getting a lot of deceptive energy coming from this individual that you currently find yourself connecting with now. Now, the reason why I'm saying don't be alarmed by all of this is because although they weren't the best person in their prior marriage and a relationship, you know, with the King of Swords coming out here, especially with Temperance and this energy coming out here, that's kind of telling me that this person has definitely changed since their last marriage and a relationship that they were a part of. They learned their lesson. You know, they basically realized, you know what? I can't continue to be this person anymore. I can't continue to lie. I can't continue to cheat. I can't continue to, you know, be deceptive. I can't continue to be like this and I can't continue to be like that, okay? Their prior relationship really did, like, you know, taught them a whole lot about themselves and what they personally need to change about themselves, okay? So the reason why I'm saying don't be alarmed by all of this is because I am definitely getting sense this dynamic between these two went south, okay? They have definitely worked a lot on themselves and they definitely have, you know, drastically changed. I'm getting like a very narky energy for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, coming from this person. But this is the energy that they were harnessing in their prior marriage and a relationship, okay? So just keep that in mind. As far as them being worried and concerned about karma catching up to them, well, unfortunately for them, with the Tower coming out here in the reverse, that's kind of telling me that this person has yet to pay for what they essentially put this last person through. Tower in the reverse. They have yet to pay for what they put this last person through. Do I feel like this person will pay for this stuff that they essentially put this last person through? Yes, absolutely. Everything that you do wrong in this life, you will eventually pay for it in this life. So I am definitely getting that they will pay for sure for what they put this last person through, without a shadow of a doubt. It's going to happen. But I think that that's their concern, right? When it comes down to you, although they changed their ways and although they're a much better person, you know, today than they were when they were with this individual, they're kind of worried and concerned that karma is going to show its face in this person's life while being in this dynamic that they share with you. So let me give you an example. Let's just say that this person cheated on the last person that they were with. Well, they're really worried and concerned that karma might show its face within their dynamic with you. So they're kind of worried and concerned, like, damn, what if Taurus turns around and cheats on me because I cheated on the last person? What if Taurus turns around and lies to me like I did the last person? You feel me? So there's a lot of worry and concern when it comes down to, yeah, their relationship with you, but it has everything to do with karma, okay? Everything to do with karma. Which, again, with that Tower coming out here, that's kind of telling me that this person has yet to pay for what they put the last person through. Let's look at the Tower in the reverse, shall we? Doom, 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 doom. All right, so we have the World, we have the Five of Pentacles, and then how do I explain this? How do I explain this to you? God, how do I explain this? Because, I mean, I do see karma showing its face in this person's life, while they're technically speaking with you. But how do I explain what's going to happen to this person? Do I see you like, cheating on this person, or, deceiving this person, or manipulating them, or gaslighting them? No, I don't see you doing all of that. I just kind of see them, how do I explain this? I just kind of see them in this dynamic with you thinking, right? Thinking that you're playing them, thinking that you're betraying them, thinking that you got something with said person. Like, I just kind of see them going through a whole lot of that, which, is karma, for the most part, playing out in this person's life. I am definitely getting that. So even though you're not going to find yourself playing them or betraying them or deceiving them, they're going to find themselves thinking that you are, so much to the point where they're going to turn around and actually believe it. Okay. Why is this person going through all of this? You know what I mean? It just looks like the reason why they're going through all of this has a lot to do with karma just kind of wanting, this individual to kind of like walk a mile in this person's shoes, right? So that's kind of telling me that this individual that they were with constantly found themselves thinking that this person's probably doing X, Y, and Z, right, behind their back, which they were. That's besides the fucking point. They definitely were. And that could have been the reason why this dynamic between these two went south, because they caught this person red-handed, lying to them, betraying them, deceiving them, cheating on them, whatever have you, right? So they just kind of want this individual to walk a mile in this person's shoes, right? Think the way that they made them think, feel the way that they made them essentially feel. The interesting part of it all is, I don't think I've ever seen this fucking play out in a person's life before, as far as karma is concerned. The interesting part of all of this is that I don't see you actually playing them. They're just going to think and believe that you are. They're just going to think and believe that you are. So even though you're not technically speaking playing this one, they're just going to think that you are. They're just going to believe that you are. And that in itself is going to create a lot of stress and anxiety for this person. As it's just going to, the best way that I can describe this is mental torture at its finest, right? Which is exactly what this person was going through. This person that they were with, mental torture. Constantly thinking that they have to look over their shoulder when it comes onto this King of Swords that they were dealing with. Constantly thinking this King of Swords is doing something behind their back and feeling like they are, and, things of that nature. So yeah. Technically, I do see this person, like, paying for what they put this last person through. And it just kind of looks like that's how this is all going to play out. They're just going to think you're cheating on them. They're just going to believe that you are. The way that a person would typically respond or react, right, towards finding out someone's cheating on them or betraying them or deceiving them is exactly how they're going to find themselves essentially feeling, but without the proof, right? Without the proof, without the concrete evidence, which kind of makes shit 10 times worse if you think about it, because it's one thing to not trust a person and then end up fucking around and finding out, why you can't trust that person is because you found out that they were doing this, down the third behind your back. But it's a whole nother level of fuckery and mental hell to be with somebody, think that that person's playing you, betraying you, and deceiving you, and then not having the concrete evidence to back that up, or finding anything to justify why you think the way that you think about that person, why you feel the way that you feel about that person. So that in itself is like on a whole nother level of mental torture and hell, basically, is what I'm getting. So they're going through, yes, what this feminine energy went through while they were with them, as far as like thinking that they can't trust them, thinking that they can't, feel safe and secure with them, because that's kind of what the feminine energy was feeling, right? Like they can't feel safe and secure with them because they're a liar, they're cheating, they're doing this, they're doing that, like the list goes on and on, right? But it was different, right? Because they felt like they couldn't trust this King of Swords that they were dealing with, but they fucked around and found out why they couldn't trust them is because they were doing this and they were doing that, and they caught them doing this and they caught them doing that. But it's going to be a different ball game, right? Because not only do I see them going through what this feminine energy went through, because they put them through it by lying, betraying them, and deceiving them, and cheating on them and stuff like that. it kind of looks like, because this is like a whole nother level of like mental torture. It's a whole nother level of like mental hell. It looks like they're going through what this Queen of Swords went through, but worse. It's like they're paying for, yes, what they put this Queen of Swords through, but with interest is like the best way that I could describe it as I'm seeing. You know the type of mental hell, this person is gonna unfortunately find themselves essentially experiencing, the constant thinking and believing that that person that you're with is doing something behind your back, and you can't even fucking prove it. You can't even prove it. You can't even prove it. And this is that type of person, mind you. This is that type of person that is not going to turn around and walk away from somebody that is not betraying them or deceiving them. They're not that type of person. Like, they'll walk away from a person that's actually betraying them and deceiving them. But to walk away from somebody who's not actually betraying them or deceiving them is that type of, they just wouldn't do something like that. They wouldn't get up and walk away just because they're going to find themselves, by the way, thinking that you're playing them, betraying them, and deceiving them. They're not going to turn around and leave you, not until they could prove it. So not only are they paying for what this not only are they paying for what they put this Queen of Swords through, they're going to get a taste of what this Queen of Swords went through, but with interest. But it's just going to be amplified. You know what I mean? Like, this is pretty bad. If you really think about it, it's going to be pretty bad for them, because they're also going to find themselves chasing their own tail around too in this dynamic with you. They're going to find themselves thinking you're doing something behind their back, but you're not. But they just think that you are. So they're going to find themselves chasing their own tail around. And it's going to drive them mad, which, I mean, I would understand why it would drive them mad, because the narrative that they're creating in their mind about you doesn't match their physical reality with you. So even though their mind's telling them like, Taurus is playing you, Taurus is playing you, Taurus is playing you, their physical reality with you is going to always tell them the complete opposite. Their physical reality with you is going to tell them, oh no, they're not playing me. But their mind, you know what I mean, it's going to make them think, you know what I mean, and believe that you are, which is going to cause this person to go on scavenger hunts. It's going to cause this person to do their digging. It's going to cause them to do their, research, things of that nature. Because again, they harness Emperor-like energy, and Emperor is, when they set their mind to something, they're very determined to accomplish and achieve whatever they set their mind to. So it appears to me that when they do enter a relationship with you, they're going to be dead set on, I need to find out if they're cheating on me. I think they're cheating on me, but I need to fucking find out if they actually are. And they're going to be very like adamant on trying to find out if you are actually cheating on them or betraying them or deceiving them. And it kind of looks like they're never going to find what they're looking for, because what they're looking for doesn't exist. You cheating on them with your coworker, the neighbor, that human at the coffee shop you like to go. You're not doing that. You're not. They're looking. They're gonna find themselves looking for something that's not there, something that doesn't actually exist. But in their head, they're gonna think that no, like that. Yes, you know what I mean. They're doing this, and I just know it. I don't know. I just can't prove it to myself, but I'm going to prove it to myself, and it's gonna drive them mad for sure. For sure. Yeah, so that's pretty tough. The fact that they're worried and concerned about karma showing its face in their life now that you're in it, chances are, chances are they will definitely, start paying off their karma debt. I will say that. But see, here's the fascinating thing about karma. Even though they're worried and concerned that karma might show its face in this person's life, the way things are going to play out between the two of you is going to cause them to essentially feel like, no, like you don't have anything to worry about. It's okay. Go there with Taurus. You don't have anything to worry about when it comes down to Taurus. And once this person is, in a relationship with you and they're building, with you and stuff like that, once this person gets a little comfortable, that's when karma's going to show its face, in this person's life is kind of what I'm getting. But even though they're kind of worried and concerned about karma now, it just kind of looks like the way things are going to play out between the two of you is going to lure this person in. And once this person is locked in, with you, that's when karma is going to show up, So, I mean, it is what it is. But it kind of looks like that's what they're going to go through. More of the story. What actions will Taurus take towards this person or moving forward? We got the Queen of Wands, we got the Ace of Cups, and then we also have the again, being very open and receptive towards this whole new chapter / cycle between you and this person. Yeah, it kind of looks like it's only a matter of time before karma shows its face, you know, in this person's life. So let's break this down, shall we? This is a massive change for you, Taurus, you know, and I do see you trying to like adjust, right? And adapt to like, you know, your whole new reality, you know, with this person, with the 5 of Cups to the 10 of Wands to Judgment. I just kind of feel like everything happens so fast. It's like you go from being married to a toxic individual or a relationship with a toxic individual to like wanting to just kind of focus on yourself, and then boom, love shows up, and you know, here they are wanting to pursue you in a relationship with you, yada yada yada. So you're just trying to like adjust, right? And adapt, because everything's happening so, you know, so quickly. And I do see you adjusting and adapting, but I also see you dealing with, I see you dealing with things that you've never dealt with before, possibly. So maybe you've never dealt with somebody who thought you were cheating. Maybe you never dealt with somebody that, you know, thought you were constantly lying to them or betraying them or deceiving them. Maybe you've never dealt with somebody like this, you know, before, but you're either dealing with things you never dealt with before in prior relationships, or you're going to find yourself dealing with certain things coming from this person that's going to become, you know, very draining and very, very overwhelming, which is them constantly thinking you're doing something, you know, behind their back. Now, keep in mind, please keep this in mind, because I feel like a lot of people do this. When a person starts to think that that person that they're dealing with is cheating on them or betraying them or deceiving them, the person that's on the receiving end of all this always finds themselves thinking to themselves, well, it's because they're probably doing something, and that's why they think this, and that's why they think that. And sometimes that could definitely be the case, but in this case, that's not what I'm seeing here, okay? I don't feel like this person is operating from this place because they're doing something behind your back. No. I get it. Sometimes that definitely can be the case, but with this particular person, that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is what we already kind of went over and discussed, okay? What actions? Okay, so again, they have their worries and their concerns, and it has everything to do with karma, right? It's like they have this feeling that they might end up paying for what they put the last one through within this dynamic that they share with you. But with the Page of Cups to the Hermit, to the to the Emperor coming out here, again, it's that energy of them being lured in, right, by you and their relationship, you know, with you. Because this person's being lured into this dynamic here between, you know, the two of you, which, if I'm being honest, is exactly, you know, what karma wants, right? Is for this person to, you know, feel drawn to you, your energy, this connection, things of that nature. Not because you're going to be the one, right? To make them pay for what the last person, you know, put them through. Because I feel like some people walk into people's lives out of act of like karma, right? To make them pay for what they put the last person through. I don't see you playing that role in this entire situation. Like, I don't see you making them pay for what they put the last person through. Again, everything that they're going to find themselves essentially going through has a lot to do with them thinking and believing you are, which is just as fucking worse as you actually doing it, but it's going to be even worse for them, because it's one thing to think that that person that you're dealing with is playing you, and then you end up finding out that they actually are. It's a whole nother bag of fuckery, mental fuckery at that, to be with somebody that you think is playing you, and then you can't even fucking prove it. A whole nother type of hell, right? So I do see them being very intrigued, right? And drawn into you and your energy in this relationship, to the point where they're going to want to go there with you. That's besides the point. They're going to give in to this connection because it feels right to them. Granted, they are worried and concerned about karma, but still the relationship feels right to them. So this is what's going to cause them to get sucked in, right? To this relationship, as well as you, right? So let's do this, right? This is reiterating what I just said, that they're gonna find themselves going through, because it's only a matter of time before karma shows its face in this person's life. Once this person gets locked into this dynamic here between the two of you, that's when karma's gonna start to show its face. That's when they're gonna start to think like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think I just think that like Taurus is playing me. I just think Taurus is doing this. I just think Taurus is doing that. The swords and tarot represent our thoughts. None of this is coming from an intuitive place, mind you. Your intuition is always going to be honest with you and tell you the truth. It's your mind and your heart that you have to kind of like be a little worried and concerned about, because your mind is always going to be the number one thing that's going to lie to you. Out of everything else, your mind is going to be the number one thing that's going to always lie to you, right? And in your heart, you know, has the capability of deceiving you, just like your mind does, right? Your mind doesn't always lie to you, but it's the number one thing above your heart. Yeah, that's going to be the hands down the number one thing that's going to lie to you. You know, the most is your mind, and then what follows is basically your heart, right? So you can't really fully rely on your mind all the time, or even your heart all the time. You can sometimes, but not all the time, right? Because sometimes, you know, your mind could create things that are just not fucking true. Exhibit A, you know what I mean? Like, their mind is going to start to create a bunch of negative narratives in regards to you. You're probably sleeping with the neighbor. You're probably sleeping with this guy, and you're probably sleeping with that guy, even though you're not. They're just going to think and believe that you are, right? So what they're going to do is get down to the bottom of the truth, right? I got to find out if Taurus is actually sleeping with the neighbor, actually sleeping with the coworker, actually sleeping with this one, or actually sleeping with that one. I gotta find out. I gotta find out. And every time they go looking, because remember, none of this actually does exist here, right? As far as you sleeping with the neighbor is concerned, or you sleeping with a coworker, this is not a real thing. You're not really doing this. They're just going to think that you really, really are. So when they do their digging and their research, they're not going to find anything, because there's nothing to find. What they're looking for doesn't exist. It's not a thing. They just think that it is, if that makes any sense. So when they go looking, they're not going to find anything. And it's going to bring temporary, for Source with Three of Pentacles, temporary relief to their mind. Oh, okay, so they're not actually sleeping with the neighbor. Okay, all right, that's good. And then the next day comes. Taurus is, you know, they're going to get this negative intrusive thought. Taurus is sleeping with the coworker. You might want to look into that. Their mind's going to tell them that. And then they're going to start to panic. They're going to start to freak out. Oh, shit. You know, Taurus is sleeping with the coworker. I just know it. I need to get down to the bottom of it. I need to figure this out. And then they're going to do their digging. They're going to do their research, and they're not going to find anything. It's going to bring them temporary relief. And then it just keeps going and going and going. It's going to be a vicious cycle, basically. This is going to be a very repetitive thing that they're going to find themselves experiencing within their own personal life with you in it, okay? So I'm not getting that this is just going to happen once or twice, or like maybe like, you know, 3 times, 4 times. Like, this is going to happen very, very frequently in this person's life, where they're going to find themselves thinking, the Taurus is probably doing that. Let me do my digging. Let me do my research. I got to get down to the bottom of the truth. And they ain't going to find nothing. And it's going to bring them that temporary relief until that next intrusive thought comes along. And then they start finding themselves thinking, you know what? Taurus has to be sleeping with that person at the coffee shop. There's no fucking way that they're not. Let me get down to the bottom of it. And then again, history continues to repeat itself. And unfortunately for you, my friend, you're going to find yourself feeling very drained and overwhelmed by all of this. Very drained and very overwhelmed by all of this. You're going to find yourself questioning, like, damn, but why does this person constantly think this about me? Like, I'm not even fucking doing anything. Like, I'm committed to them. I'm loyal to them. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why does this person constantly think that I'm doing something behind their back when I'm not? And it's because of that, basically. Now, here's the thing, too. You're dealing with an emperor. An emperor is somebody who cares about their image. They do. They care about their image, and they care about their image a lot. They care about what people think about them. They care about how people perceive them. So are they going to sit here and tell you, you know, that, I don't know, the reason why they think the way that they think is because they used to be the only player back in the days? No, they're probably not going to sit here and tell you all of that, because again, they don't want you to look at them differently. If they were to sit there and tell you like, oh, the reason why I think the way that I think is because I was cheating on this one left and freaking right. I was lying to this one left and right. Like, they're not gonna tell you that. They are not gonna tell you that. No, absolutely not. No, they're not gonna tell you that, because they care too much about how people look at them and perceive them. They care too much about their image. So no, they're not gonna sit there and tell you like, listen, the reason why I think this is happening is because I cheated on this one left and right, or I lied to this one left and right, I betrayed this one left. They're not gonna sit there and tell you some shit like that. They're not. Because in their head, it doesn't really benefit them to sit there and tell you all of that, because you know, who's to say you're going to turn around and start looking at them differently? Who's to say, you know, you're going to want to continue to involve yourself with this person? Because there's like this saying, like, once a cheater, always a cheater. And a lot of people firmly believe that shit. You know, I can't say that that's the case for this person, though, considering the fact that they did show with temperance in their energy, and they showed up as a king of pentacles, so king of cups. So I can't sit here and say that, I guess that like phrase, line, whatever have you, applies to them, because I don't see them like wanting to be that person ever again. That person that lies to people, leads people on, betrays people, deceives people. They don't want to be that person anymore. Hence why they put in the work to change. So I have to give that to them. I can't sit here and say, okay, just because this person cheated once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, a million times, that they're going to turn around and do that to you, because of the energy that they're in. Doing something like that to, you know, a person is something that they never want to do ever again. So that's something that you personally don't have to worry about when it comes on to this person. But yeah, they're not going to sit here and tell you like, oh, I think this way because what I put the last person. Fuck no, absolutely not. Because it might cause you to look at them differently, and they don't want that. You know what I mean? They don't want that. They definitely don't want that. But that's what's really going on here. More of the story. But yeah, dude, that's what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated, and I will